I've realized that a lot of times in the spiritual community, we don't really speak about the difficult times and we don't really speak about the challenges that come with being spiritual and having awakenings, things that actually happen in the background. It's not always bliss, it's not always chakras or vibrations and frequencies. And when you are working on yourself and healing, there's challenges, there's certain habits that you need to confront about yourself, there's certain feelings that you need to confront about yourself. And even in the setting of boundaries and in the healing, it's not easy. There's days where you wake up and you don't know whether you're going forward or backwards, where you wake up and you feel like it's just too much to keep going, where you wake up and you are just tired. You're just tired of healing. You're just tired of being sensitive to all this information. You're just tired of losing people and places. It's not always easy. It's not. And sometimes it gets lonely. I think we don't speak about these things enough. And that is why a lot of people tend to backslide and stop working on themselves. I think this is why a lot of times people go back to their old selves, they go back to their old habits, they let go of the boundaries that they have created for themselves and others. They go back to their old selves because they think they are the only ones who are actually experiencing the difficulties of being conscious, the difficulties of being sensitive to information. You know, sometimes you wake up and you realize that nobody gets it, nobody understands, especially the people that you love, the people that are around you, they don't understand. And no matter how many times you try and explain it to them or try and pull them to your side, they don't get it because it's not their journey, it's not their way. It's not always easy. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes you are crying and you are miserable and you're depressed and you're like, oh my God, what have I done? Having an awakening, being conscious is all of it. It's not just the bliss, the calm, the raising of vibration or the changing of frequency. Sometimes it's just being in this human body and feeling the pain of loss, feeling the pain of feeling lonely, feeling the pain of being alone. I think we don't speak about that enough, and that's why a lot of people are afraid of going through the journey. You know, people speak about us like I've been called crazy, I've been called a witch, I've been called so many things. And there's days where I really just don't want to hear those things or don't have the strength to even stand up straight and be confident in the experiences that I have had and be confident in the truth that I know exists inside of me. There's days where I don't want to be conscious. There's days where I would rather be asleep. I would rather not have this knowledge. And I would rather not be applying the knowledge in my life. Yes, I've gone through so much in it, and it has helped me be the person that I am. I am no longer the person I was. Yes, I've grown more confident. Yes, I've healed a lot of things about myself. However, there's times where I'm just like, oh my gosh, does this ever end? You have to keep working even when you don't feel like working. And there's times where it's okay to not be working and just be in the feeling of, it's a lot. I'm alone. You know, it's okay because that is part of the experience, that is part of the journey. of working on self, of healing self. You know, we are here to experience all of it. And that is part of all of it. I know for sure that there's a lot of people who are conscious and who are afraid of being seen as conscious because there's labels. People label you with things that have nothing to do with you. And sometimes they label you with things that they don't fully understand themselves. They don't know what it means to be that thing. And people always judge things that they do not understand. People are afraid of things that they don't understand. And sometimes you fall back into your habits because you are just tired of healing. You're just tired of explaining yourself to yourself, or even encouraging yourself to keep working on self. It's not always easy. The boundaries that you set for other people are the same boundaries that come back and hurt you, that are difficult for you, because now you are sensitive to the information and the boundaries that you have put on yourself. And because there's now boundaries, there's certain things that you can no longer do. You have to be what you say you are all the time. And I don't think that's how it is. I don't think that's how it works. At least it doesn't work that way for me. There's days where I don't feel like motivating people. There's days where I don't feel like helping anybody else, where I'm just like, yo, bruh, do whatever you want. I don't care. There's days where I don't care because I don't have the energy to even care for self, because it's a lot. You know, I think it's important that we understand that it happens to all of us. It doesn't mean because now I am conscious, I do not feel pain. I do not get depressed. I don't feel sad. I don't feel lonely. Everything is just blissful and sunshine and roses. Sometimes it's tears. Sometimes it's ugly cries. Sometimes it's being lonely and feeling lonely. As much as I enjoy spending time with myself and I enjoy being on my own and I enjoy my own company, there's times where I just want to be social and not be so conscious. Because when you are so conscious and you go in social environments, you are sensitive to these things. You're sensitive to information, and you realize that being awake is a blessing and a curse. It's all of it. However, we keep working on self, we keep healing on self, because honestly, I think I would rather be working on myself and healing myself than backsliding. Every now and then I go in my corner, I cry, I go through things, and I feel lonely and sad, but I pull myself up again and remember who I am and remember why I'm doing this, and remember that this feels much better than not being aware, and this works better for me than being asleep. And also, I just want to talk about this whole vibration thing. And I was one of those people who also thought you need to raise your vibration, and you have some people are low vibrational. And I actually realized, Guti, the moment you start putting people in boxes saying somebody's vibration is lower, then it means you're high and makes you look like you are better than them. There's no such thing. I feel like it's a frequency thing. It's a different frequency. It's a different shift. And we are on different vibrations. Doesn't mean the other vibration is superior to the other. It's just a different journey for a different person. I just thought it was important for me to be honest, as I always try and be honest about the hard parts of the journey. It's not always easy. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's painful, but we keep going because I'd rather be healing. The more I heal, the better I feel about myself. the more I'm able to have this experience much more consciously, but it is part of the package. It is part of all of it. I'm Shadow, and this is Shadow Work.